before we start the video, I know that a lot of people have seen this iceberg. A lot of videos have been made on it, but I think people only entertain the interesting ones, and they don't even disprove the ones that they're like just going over or covering. So I want to entertain every single entry on the iceberg, and I want to just disprove as many as I can and sift out the real good stuff, you know, and then go down the rabbit holes and make separate videos on all of them. So yeah, as you can see on the screen though, this is all just for creative work. None of these entries are actually true or based on reality, and you shouldn't take them as such. So let's get started. So the first entry that I wanted to talk about was a more niche one. I kind of want to get all the niche ones that don't really go anywhere out of the way. So the first topic we're going to be talking about is Padme McDonald's. And Padme McDonald's is from the movie Star Wars, where they have McDonald's and such as. Now, this whole thing revolves around millions of URLs being attached to one person, attribute to one person with the name Padme McDonald's. And they all contain strange pictures of her face, often photoshopped onto other women. We don't know, or I don't know, and that seems like the rest of the community surrounding this topic don't know if this is actually Padme McDonald's. But yeah, and there's also numerous backlinks to each of these pictures. In each website, there's so many links to other sites as well. More recently though, I couldn't find any pictures of an actual person. Instead, I found photo collages and more religious type of imagery, as well as a bunch of nature photos for realty, even though there was no property being advertised at all, which was whatever, I guess. I did find some forums with archived posts talking about and having pictures of the old ones that I will show. I'm not sure if I'll get in trouble if I do show them, cause I don't know, we'll see, whatever, YOLO. So right here, I'm scrolling through the YouTube channel that I found correlated to this, and at first I didn't know if it was correlated to the actual person, but looking back, it is definitely the same website. I found some old forums where people were pasting links to the official website at the time from like 2017 or so. And the screenshots that I had posted for it were completely different. It'll show later on in this clip, but it's definitely still the same video. So it bridges the fact that this video, this video, and then this YouTube channel is the same as the other channel or the other websites. Now, I do want to get it out of the way that I personally don't believe this is anything. I think it's just kind of a dead end. My conclusion is that Padme McDonald's is a fabricated persona and is used to just anchor a mass domain resale. And it's also used for SEO spams, maybe, potentially, or AI testing network. Those last two, I'm not sure. Maybe the SEO spam, probably. If you guys aren't aware, SEO just is search engine optimization. And basically just means when you Google something, the first thing to pop up is what, you know, your website. I'm gonna go ahead and cut myself off real quick before I finish that thought. This is the video right here. This is the clip that I was talking about where I find a forum, and that is the original pictures right there. I did also find that the mystery comes from people stumbling into referral loops and interpreting the unusual name / image repetition as something deeper, which is, again, it's just people just looking too much into it. It's not that deep. I don't think it's that deep. We also have that. These are just, I'm just reading off my notes here. Mass domain ownership, and it's usually under the same name of Padme McDonald's. Again, we already know this. I did read, however, though, that this could be extreme cyber squatting, which rather than a company or a single obsessive person behind these websites, probably, maybe they are the work of a virus on the internet, grabbing all the available URLs it can and claiming them, then filling them with these images as well as like backlinks as some matter of calling card. And then this could be done for the purpose of an incomprehensibly large cyber squatting project. I personally, again, don't really think this is the case. I think it's just a mass domain resale with like a mascot. Also, I realized that while editing, I made a mistake. The pictures used in Photoshopped and edited and stuff, those pictures, the face was not her face. It was the body that was hers, and people were photoshopping other people's faces onto her, or so it's said through the forum. But again, that's the only place I've seen that being said, and I just don't even think that it's a real person being, you know, photoshopped and stuff. Even if all, like, we can consider all possible scenarios, they're all pretty boring, to be honest. They're all really like, damn, that's kind of like a worst case scenario. It's a internet virus just constantly doing this stuff all the time, or somebody's trying to extort her for money. The next one is Nibriu, or whatever it is, whatever it's called. So Nibriu was this idea popularized by Zakaria Sitchin, and she claimed that it was the home of the Anunnaki gods. But the first person to actually bring it up was Nancy Lieder in 1995, and she's also the founder of Zeta Talk, the website. She claimed that telepathic aliens had warned her about Nibiru's arrival in 2003. And Nibiru was this massive rogue planet which was on a hidden orbit, and it was set to pass dangerously close to Earth if not collide with it, which would just cause tidal shifts for reversal extinction, which would be pretty sucky. There's a picture right there. I don't know if you can saw the picture, but that's what would happen to us if it actually hit us. She said it was going to arrive in 2003, and then it didn't, and then she said 2012, and then it didn't, and then she said 2017. And then it didn't. I don't know if she died or said anything else. It was propped up by doomsday preppers, pseudo astronomers, and YouTube grifters. But in reality, the closest thing we got to that was in 2016, where Caltech researchers proposed a hypothetical 9th planet. And that planet's line was not even in collision course with us. It was no threat and had no related mythology. So, yeah. I also thought I should record this real quick, because this was just also really funny. Leader claims she is a contactee with the ability to receive messages from extraterrestrials from the Zeta Reticuli star system through an implant in her brain. It states that she was chosen to warn mankind that the object would sweep through the inner solar system in May 2003. I think is more interesting is Nancy Lieder herself, which this is just a whole entire new rabbit hole, but it's all kind of just like, I feel like it's a waste of time. There's not much in this one. Like, that's it. It's just this Zeta Talk thing. Nancy is delusional, to be frank, and that's the end of it. It would be a waste of time to go further into it. There's no, I mean, you can check it out on your own and to maybe see how these people think, like from a psychological perspective. It would be very interesting, but I'm not going to do that in this video. So that's the end of this entry here. Next entry is the Max Headroom incident, which happened on November 22nd of 1987, and it was an unidentified person's hijacks on the broadcast of Doctor Who in Chicago. Now, there was 2 broadcasts that were taking over. The first one was on Channel 9, WGN TV, and it was during a sports event in the evening. The screen briefly cuts out, and then a masked figure against rotating background, just like Max Headroom. The second hijacking occurs on Channel 11 WTTW about 2 hours later during an episode of Doctor Who, and the same masked figure returns for a 90-second takeover, this time with distorted audio and bizarre speech, which just didn't really make sense. Before we talk about the actual hijacking, I think it's important to talk about Max Headroom itself. So I'll play a clip here just so you get a general idea of what it's about or what it was like.
To talk to you about something even bigger, namely Max Headroom. So,
sit back,
relax,
and enjoy
my film.
Warum haben Sie
Fortune soll eine hartliche Sprache?
Max Headroom was a fictional AI television host and media icon from the 1980s. He wasn't actually AI at all though, he was just a guy in makeup pretending to be digital, and it was pop culture's first attempts to depict a digital post-human, which just means like they were like, imagine if AI was real and it had a television show. Or what is the future gonna be like? This could be how the future is and whatnot. And now that we have seen the official Max Headroom, let's go ahead and play the hijacking clip. So it's very reminiscent of the original Max Headroom. Now what makes this one special is that 1, the person was never caught, and 2, it was just very confusing and bizarre. But later on he gets spanked while like mooning the camera, so I'm not, there's no big message here. A lot of people want to like argue that it's a warning or message from AI. No, I don't think so. I think it was just a human mimicking Max Headroom, a fictional AI. Some other people theorize that it predicted the rise of AI media control. I think it's just pure coincidence. If anything, it marked corporate TV, and the government knew and covered it up. Not true. The feds actually investigated it seriously. They just failed to find the perpetrator, which makes sense because, I mean, analog technology is really hard to trace. The hijacker was later found dead. There's no verified deaths, disappearances, or confessions. Again, I'm just getting all the like really sort of common stuff known out of the way. I'm trying to build some sort of credibility, and on top of that, I'm also just trying to sift out all the dead ends or kind of useless stuff to know. Because I mean, not only is this like quote unquote conspiracy theory kind of useless to anybody, like what does it do for us? Where is it providing any insight or knowledge? You know, why would anybody want to hide something like this? Again, all the conspiracies from this one specifically come from just speculation and people's subjective interpretation of it. There's no real evidence grounding the things that are being said around it, and most likely than not, it's just a random person just being silly again. So I'm just trying to get all the ones that I don't deem deep or worthy or possible. But if you guys do disagree or have any more proof or anything like that, go ahead and put it down in the comments and stuff, because I would like to revisit these and, you know, make better claims. Next, we're going to talk about the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, which happened in 1944 Illinois. Between August and September of 1944, multiple residents of Mattoon, Illinois reported being attacked by an unseen assailant who sprayed mysterious gas through open windows. Some people have even claimed that they came up to them and sprayed it in their face, and this caused symptoms like nausea, paralysis, or fainting. A lot of common things that happened during these events were metallic taste, a dizziness, and muscle weakness. But police never found a suspect, chemicals, or any physical evidence. Some people also claim that the perpetrator left oily residues on surfaces, and the police received 38 official complaints or so. Most historians and psychologists agree, though, that it was a classic case of mass hysteria, and it was only amplified by a wartime anxiety and media frenzy. And some evidence that's used for the claim that it was mass hysteria is that all reports happened at night. There was no physical proof ever collected. Many cases involved shared delusions within families, and one of the gas attack sites had no trace of chemicals, yet multiple people felt it. Mattoon was also near an army chemical facility, which just added to the paranoia, but the military denied any leaks or connections. So most of these are pretty boring, and also Elaine Kearney's case was the first one to be reported to the media, so most Gasser descriptions just derive from what she said. And yeah, I mean, none of these are really that interesting, and most of them are just him being like, I swore he came out to me and he gassed me, I don't know where he went. The Shape of Earth Disinfo. This one claims that mainstream science lies about the Earth being a sphere, and that flat Earth or similar models are being suppressed to keep the masses misinformed. The entire flat Earth movement is either a deliberate grift, money/fame scheme, a social media brain virus, or a controlled opposition psyop to make real skeptics look insane. In truth, though, there's no way that the Earth isn't a sphere. No ancient civilization believed in an Earth flat. They all had sphere-based models for centuries, like Greeks, Indians, Persians, and we also have like undeniable proof, like photos from space or Earth's shadow on the moon, which is always curved on a lunar eclipse. Time zones is also proof of this, because the sun rises and sets at different times across the globe. And gravity consistency wouldn't work on a flat plane. Gravity points towards mass in the center, not down. So then you're just like arguing with actual physics. And then to top it all off, flight paths, long distance flights, and satellite orbs only work with spherical Earth. Now at some point people thought that the Earth was flat. And then we didn't. So people are like, hold on, maybe the Earth is actually flat, because that's what they were saying back in the day. I really don't get this one, to be honest. I'm trying to like justify what they're thinking, but I can't. I just genuinely don't understand why people want to believe that the Earth is flat. I think it's probably because they get convinced not that that is the truth, but that the truth is a lie, and the lie is a very good lie. That's why they deny it. I'm not sure. If you're a psychologist and you understand why people think the Earth is flat, despite all the proof and whatnot, let me know. I'm confused. So, okay, I searched it up, and it says that it has nothing to do with evidence. It's everything to do with psychology. A need for control in a complex world, where people are like, NASA lie, science is lie, and I see the truth, and they create their own truth for themselves. There's a few more things on here that make a lot of sense, like rebellion against authority. You know, oppose mainstream intuitions, makes you feel better. Yeah, you don't have to do research either. I mean, you have the cognitive simplicity and low science literacy. It's just saying that people are dumb, essentially. Then you have algorithmic reinforcement, you know, like especially like on TikTok and stuff. You know, what you consume is what's like redirected at you again. So you just get confirmation bias, but aided by TikTok and other mediums. Then you have tribal identity and belief as belonging. So once someone identifies as a flat earther, it becomes their social identity. Challenging it means attacking them, not the idea, and then it gets emotional and stuff like that. So it feels empowering to be like, oh, I'm part of a group that sees through their lies. Although I think if you want to look for lies and stuff, like flat earth is not really the way to go. There's so many other things that the government lies to you about that you could focus on that are a lot better to inform people on as well. But hey, maybe we'll get to those later. We'll see. That's gonna be it for this part though. I hope you enjoyed. We're only covered 4 out of the many first tier, and we're gonna go into every single tier and do the same thing. I know these are pretty boring and not real at all. I mean, some of them are based on reality, but yeah, most of these are debunked and known as like not really truths or conspiracies. So I'm gonna get all of those out of the way. That's what I'm gonna do every single tier. I'm gonna get all the more boring ones out of the way so I can focus more on the rest. But yeah, there's still a bunch of like BS that I'm seeing on this list, on this first tier. So hopefully we can cover all of those. Hope you enjoyed, and make sure to like and subscribe or whatever.